far as I'm concerned, I haven't got a father. He's not a father figure to me. You know, I don't respect him in any way whatsoever.
But the opportunity to unload years of locked-up anger proved too tempting for 23-year-old Liam.
So then I just bowled over and said, come on then, you if you want it, let's have it. And his arse dropped. That was it.
The newspaper headline read, "I thought Liam would kill me," but tour manager Maggie Muzakitis says Thomas Gallagher was whisked out of the bar before anyone got hurt.
We just got him out of the hotel as quickly as we can, really. It was a bit sort of sick, just a bit, this isn't right.
Noel managed to avoid his dad that night, but the close encounter opens up old feelings.
I still to this day don't really think that I ever got to know my dad, you know what I mean? Part of me thinks, well, he wasn't such a bad geezer, he was just an idiot, you know what I mean? And then part of me thinks that he was like the most evil man that walked the earth.
For their fans, their headlines did little to diminish their idol's star power. In the summer of 1996, over the course of 2 nights, 250,000 fans packed Knebworth to pay homage.
Definitely, everyone was. It was like, everyone was on a big high, you know, you see all those people and you're like, Christ, when I get up there, I'm going to just it all up.
There was a few stiff drinks before we went on. There was definitely a few, you know, to steady the ship.
The shows were to host the largest crowds ever to see a single act in British history.
They were the biggest gigs ever to be held in Britain, and they probably remain like that until Oasis next play Knebworth.
It was a career milestone, but the overwhelming attention sent Liam off on a massive drink and drugs binge that would trigger a bizarre string of events. Hot on the heels of Knebworth, Oasis was scheduled to perform an acoustic set for MTV. Minutes before they were due on stage, Liam pulled out.
He turns up with a beard, looking like Grizzly Adams, you know what I mean, after being in the pub for 2 days. Can't walk, let alone sing.
They had a sore throat, I'd been out in the piss, and I just had a sore throat.
And this is dropped on my lap, right, 15 minutes before we're walking out on that stage. It's like, oh, hang on a minute, now you're the singer. So I'm like, well, thank you very much. Good evening. Liam ain't going to be with us tonight because he's got sore throat, so he's stuck with the ugly four, as they say. Before the night, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've subsequently found out that he doesn't like singing with the band acoustically. But I wish he'd have mentioned that before the 2,500 people turned up, you know, to see, expecting to see him. Oh, there you are.
Adding insult to injury, Liam heckled his brother from the balcony, while at the same time nursing his sore throat with numerous cigarettes and alcohol.
He sits in the stands heckling, you know what I mean? Because he does it one time, he gets a bit of a giggle from the crowd, so he thinks it's really cool to do that. Shut up.
And what, but heckling, so what, you know what I mean? They're all big boys, you know what I mean? I was only joking.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Not asked about his big brother dying on stage. Literally dying.
Noel was furious with his younger brother, but Liam made no apologies and soon was staging another stunt. On August the 26th, just before Oasis boarded a plane to start a short US tour, Liam had a change of mind.
It was a bit weird. I mean, you know, 1 minute we're getting on the jumbo, and the next minute he's going the opposite way on one of those little funny beeping vehicles.
Liam decided it was more important to buy a house with his future wife, Patsy Kensit, than fulfill his touring commitments.
You come before your family, you make...
Yeah, of course I do. That's me, yeah. I come first. I don't care. I forgot about it. I didn't know no one sorted me out, so I come first before any and that's my attitude, alright?
Rather than cancelling any shows, Noel decided Oasis would carry on without Liam.
We wouldn't pull the gig because that would be giving in, you know what I mean? That would be making him think that he's more important than the band, which he's not. I don't want it to seem that just because by the wave of his hand that he picks and chooses what he wants to do, and the whole thing's going to stop.
Personally, I don't give a really. I mean, if he's there, he's there. You know, but we had a job to do, so we ain't going to cancel.
Liam was shocked when the band pressed on without him.
Personally, I thought we shouldn't have done it, you know, if I went there. Not because, like, hey, I'm the man, you know what I mean, or whatever. I just think, you know, we're a band, you know what I mean?
A week later, Liam was back with the band and back at it with the boys. And a very weary Noel finally snapped.
Everybody was full of their own self-importance just because we'd sold a bunch of records, you know, and it was no big deal to me. So I packed my bags, and I stayed that night in the hotel, and I got up in the morning and I said, look, I'm going back to England. And they said, well, you know, well, you can't. So I said, well, you know, nobody tells me what I can and can't do, and I'm going.
On the 11th of September 1996, less than 3 weeks after setting attendance records at Knebworth, Noel said goodbye to the group he once led. The future of the band was now uncertain, and many, including Liam, questioned if Oasis had dried up. Noel seemed to be at a crossroads in his career, but to walk away would be to take a huge step.
Noel Gallagher arrived back in Britain tonight to face a barrage of questions about the future of Oasis.
Is it the end for Oasis?
By this stage, he was fed up with Liam's antics, and Noel planned to finish work on the next album and retire. But in the studio, he had a change of heart.
It was more recreational behaviour. And before you know it, your managers book you a tour, and you're back out on the road again. And I remember going halfway around the world thinking, hang on a minute, I was supposed to be leaving. How did this happen?